Hi, I thought I would today just read a bit from A Minority Interest by Martin Butler, which I thought you might like and you might enjoy. So I'll just do this quick reading. Be kind to yourself. There are lots of reasons to be kind to yourself. Most of the influences in your life will not have had kindness at their root. Society is not interested in kindness. It is interested in how successful you are, how productive you are, and how much you contribute to the great machine. So let's be specific about what kindness means before we sink into a swamp of sentimental self-indulgence. A number of behaviours are supportive of self-kindness. 1. We should listen to how we feel about things. This listening depends on developing the skills to sense our emotional states and desires. While it might seem obvious that we should do this, many people are almost incapable of sensing their emotions because they give almost exclusive attention to what they are thinking. What we feel is always authentic. What we might think can be influenced by any old nonsense that we might have ingested. 2. We need to understand ourselves and particularly what we want from life. Again, this is not so straightforward, and since we will be influenced by parents, teachers, peers, siblings, TV, adverts, movies, in fact almost everything around us, each influencer will try to sway a person so that the person serves their purposes. To cut a way through this, to determine what is truly satisfying for us, is usually a major undertaking. We need courage. This is 3. We need courage since the rejection of the roles others try to define us by will not be greeted with enthusiasm. So we need the courage to be clear and unambiguous in our communication with others and to make decisions that serve our own advantage and not that of people trying to influence us. 4. A realistic undertaking of the nature of our existence is also helpful. All sentient beings are to some extent competing for a set of limited resources. These efforts to acquire resources may be done with charm and a smile. But nevertheless, we are in a competitive situation with most of the people we know. We also live in an uncaring and indifferent universe, and if we do not look after our own interests as best we can, the universe will simply take without giving. 5. We need to be passionate about ourselves, and specifically we should be passionate about understanding ourselves. This self-interest should take precedent over all other interests, and we should, in essence, become masters of selfishness. It is likely that no one else is interested in your welfare, certainly in the sense discussed above, and so it is your responsibility to act and think in ways that maximise your welfare. Parents very often want children to realise some ideal they have projected onto them, an ideal that probably has very poor fit with the nature of the child. Peers will insist on a highly straitjacketed set of actions and modes of thinking, as will siblings. And so it goes on with workmates, teachers, gurus, religious figures, spiritual disciplines. It is not uncommon for someone lacking in self-knowledge to adopt the ideas and practices associated with a spiritual or religious movement, often with disastrous consequences, as they try to squeeze themselves into a one-size-fits-all jacket. The overall moral here is that we should listen to ourselves first and then consider whether some external influence is compatible with our own nature. A person who acted in this way would be displaying a very rare kind of behaviour, since most people are desperate for external approval, even though it is worthless. Well, that's A Minority Interest by Martin Butler. And if you haven't got it already, I really suggest you get it, because that's just one of many, many wonderful, useful anecdotes. So I could go into detail about that one anecdote, because there's so much behind it. You get this simple, concise utteration from Martin, and he's condensed so much wisdom into that one little piece. So get yourself a copy of Minority Interest.